Welcome back to Business Weekly. I'm your host, Miss J, your drip strategist, boss methodologist, and your hostess with the mostest. Yes, we are here today and we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff. Oh, hey, Phyllicia. How are you doing, Phyllicia?
Hi,
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're
Jerry. How are
here.
you?
They know you're coming. So, you know what? I just love surprising my own self. I didn't even know my guest was on the show. Oh my goodness. How you doing? So, get tight because we're going to be jumping in, everybody. We are now talking about a three-part series that we have been doing. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous, honey. Too blessed to be stressed and just
Hey.
unstoppable. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
Well, Felicia and I, we have been doing a three-part series on what it takes to get into business. Now, we made this one specifically for those who are getting in there. We made it specifically for the layers. If you had an idea and taking it from ideation to putting it in a plan and taking it from the plan and putting it into motion to launch the idea. Today, we're really going to be focusing on the operational foundations for your business. Why is that important? Because at the end of the day, the focus, right, is really around keeping the business alive. Agree or disagree, my girl?
Agree. Agree.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so definitely, I had a few meetings today with my clients, Felicia, and the beauty about constant coaching on a weekly basis, some of them on a monthly basis, or whatever the frequency is that you get to see where people stand in business. You get to see what they know. You get to see if they're growing. You're getting to see if their capacity, has increased. And I think it's one of the most like I would say, fabulous things to watch. It's like watching a plant grow, but you can't really see it
Girl.
grow until you see
Yeah.
it. It's so
Yeah.
cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you have that experience?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of the biggest joys ever. That's why I do what I do most of the time. It's like to see
Exactly.
when you
So
start off and then the growth. Oh,
right, right. So I know you're wondering, who is Felicia? If you haven't caught in the show, well, let me introduce my guest and co-host for today. To be honest, I think she might be here more on a regular. My girl Felicia is really an experienced launch of a person who helps people to launch businesses. And you know what? Not the exact same way I do. And that's why I love working with her because she really helps to deal with the dimensions of wellness and the themes of life, love, liberty into practical step-by-step systems that anyone can follow. So she's going to help you move from stuck, from sad to just getting out there, taking the idea, getting yourself really grounded, and then sending you over to me at the Empire so we can build the vision. She comes from a school of hard knocks and she's personally navigated physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, social, environmental, I'm remembering all them financial and vocational. See, I'm getting there.
yay.
Formerly the CEO of Love Lessons Library, she now helps people to move from sad, stuck, or struggling to balance, purpose, and lasting happiness. Welcome back to the show, Felicia. Talk to the people. Say
Yay!
hello.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. I can't believe we're a week through already. It's blowing my mind. I feel like we
Like
just
it's crazy, right? It's we just were talking about this concept and we said to ourselves, let's do like a mini series because I'm really getting into mini series. Hey, night night. Oh, all my ladies are starting to enter the chat. Good night, beautiful ladies. Love the smile.
good night.
Thank you, Miss Tara Glanville, my CEO of Tara Vegans Cuisine. Shout outs to the TVC. Those juices, honey. You need to get my order up. You need to get my order up. But we're going to be digging in today into the operations component. We're going to drop into some real conversation. But before we get into that, I want to get you really focused, okay, audience? I need you to get focused. Get your pens, papers, get your phones out, because we're going to be having a real conversation. When you have a good idea, and even starting your business, it's just the beginning, right? The real test is, can you build systems that last, scale, and make you money without burning you out? So we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the traditional operations versus the modern operations. And we're going to be running through a series of things that's going to help you to build a strong foundation of scalability. So let's jump right into the convo, shall we? So the first thing I want to talk about is pulling on your experience, looking back, what were some of the biggest operational challenges entrepreneurs faced 20 or 30 years ago?
20, 30 years. I wasn't even born yet. What are you talking about?
I was 25, honey. I was a whole 5 years old. A whole five.
I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, when I thought about this topic and I was writing up the question, I was like, does this date us?
See us, right?
Nah, black don't crack, so
I'm
we
still
don't make
99 and
businesses
holding,
from the
girl.
womb.
Oh man, yes. I mean, business back then was so like slow. It was so like just manual. Like everything had to be pen, paper, and paperwork, like stacks of it. If you needed to do research, you had to go to the library and just like troll through information. Like it was just so
100%.
slow, so manual, so I'm glad we're past those days. Like it hurts thinking about it.
She said, gagging. These are facts. I would have to agree with you. I think you had more of an opportunity to make a name because there wasn't all this access that people have today. But back in the day, if you didn't know, you didn't know. And if you didn't even know what to know, you couldn't even go into the library and take out a 5-pound book and read it. Oh, Sweet Spot's in the building. Yes, CEO Miss Stacy Miller's in the building. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing, girl? Good evening, good evening. If you're just coming in, welcome to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I'm your hostess with the most, the CEO of Empire by Design, and I'm here every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. right here on Love Bay. We are checking out a new system. I'm loving this new design that's happening. My backdrop is popping. My makeup is flawless. I don't have much on, but hence the flaw. Hey, it's all that natural juices I'm drinking. Yes, TBC. And right. And today, if you're logging in, we're really just catching up on our last part of our 3-part series. We were talking about what it takes to get into business then and now. So we're just talking about the then. 20, 30 years ago, what entrepreneurs face. I think some of the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face was lack of knowledge. I think that, they had the skill and they had the capacity, but they didn't know how to build the foundation to their business. I think there was just a lot of operational pieces that when I look back, and I'm not even talking just entrepreneurs in our circles, but I'm even talking some of the businesses we used to shop at. Right. So, if you think about it, I look back and I'm like, wow, they could have used some better customer service. Wow, they could have had a customer retention strategy. Right. Yes, honey, the drip is dripping. Right. And so, we definitely can dive into that tea because there were some places that really did it well and other places that didn't.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with like the limited access to information. The way that we have it now, we can do that research and understand, okay, well, this is the best way to talk to and handle this particular niche or this particular market. But back then it was kind of like, well, this is who we are, deal with it. We don't have any brought up seat. What's it? Okay. We have a product you want, so buy it.
And you didn't really have much places to shop. So if you went to the corner store and you didn't really like the situation, you'd have to walk a whole new community to find Becker's or some other outlet that, and your parents weren't letting you try to be going that far. So, they got our business whether we liked it or not. Right? But today,
we have options.
It's called this. It is called this. It is called this. It is called website. It is called and now I don't even have to leave. I can get it sent here. So I am
in the same country. Like,
you see what I'm saying?
Halfway around the world and get that's what
you know what I'm saying.
Different ballgame.
Okay. Listen, all you CEOs who are on the call, put in the chat. What was the biggest challenges you saw as an entrepreneur 20, 30 years ago? No, you weren't one, but if you were, great. If you weren't, put down what you saw in the businesses around you. I'd love to see what the audience is saying on this stuff, because when we think about some of the modern and traditional things, excuse me, ooh, get something to drink. Oh, sorry, give me a second. I have to lube. I got a lubricant. Throat. I got dry all of a sudden. Whoa, okay. We're back in it. If you looked at the traditional operations, they were really much paper and pen. They were ledgers, they were books, they were notebooks, right? I mean, very few people, they were typewriters. Like if I remember having an electric typewriter, I was a baby.
Just like poking away. I know, right? I was gonna mention them too, but I'm like, no. I'm like,
I don't know if I like the show anymore. It's really dating me. Well, when my dad had a typewriter, let me put it that way. Right? I remember having the electric typewriter, and I was the ish on the block because the old ones you have to kind of,
yeah.
If you made a mistake on a work document or a school document,
get the white out and make sure everything aligns perfectly.
What they know about whiteout? Oh my God, we're gonna be dying this whole thing because the old going back and the reminisce is real. Listen, reminisce with us, y'all. Throw in the comments. We need to have some laughs today because Dead and Now is serious. Filing cabinets. Oh. Do you have a filing cabinet in your office today?
I do. I do. I only have it.
Get the digital noise.
You want to hear something? Hold on. I'm going to share something with you. Wait.
Oh, snap, girl. You haven't even upgraded to some tape? This is what now. Okay, wait. Ready? Hold up the then. And this is the now. This is what we're talking about, y'all. Business has evolved, okay? And it's not even the same brand, but guess what? There's not 51 million whiteout companies, right? Who are making it. Listen, okay. So she has a filing cabinet.
I had to. Like throwbacks, like you have to make your own space, and it's just one of those comfort things for me.
I just have to ask you one thing. Are you blowing on it when you... Are you still going?
No, I'm not that bad.
Because if you're blowing on it, it really, really dates you. Okay, seriously, y'all. Welcome to Lovely Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. You are here. It's the Dead and Now, right? Come on, talk to us, please. Let the people know what was going on. Stacey, you were only like the whole of 6 months back in the day, so feel free to share your experience. Okay, so we talked about what's this? Oh, yes, okay. We talked about filing cabinets, whiteout. Okay. Yes, they still make those. For people like Phyllicia over here who reminisces. Reminisce on the love we had. She sing it to herself. Okay, what about local supply chains? What do you think? Face-to-face sales. More now, more. What do you think? Well, I think. Well, you think first, then I'll think after.
I mean, we can think at the same time. It's what we do anyway.
These are facts.
I think, honestly, I'm a more people person, so I love the face-to-face, regardless of what's happening on the internet and how we can do things. I think it's just evolved. So, like, back in the day, it was like in-person, face-to-face. Now we're doing face-to-face right now, even though it's virtual. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I think has evolved. It's needed no matter what phase you're in. In business, you need that,
Mm-hmm.
So
I hear you on that. Ooh, we got yellow pages for business to bit. What they know about B2B back in that day? And what did they know? That's true. You had to go into the yellow pages. That's very true. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I would also say that the growth was limited because it was either through community or word of mouth. It wasn't necessarily now where you can post and boost your reels and have the metaverse and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So we know that
like a shift.
No.
say, I like there was like a shift also because about 20-30 years ago, that's when the internet kind of became a little bit more popular. So it's like
Mhm.
we're now navigating that .com bubble or that Y2K whole thing, you know what I mean? Because 25 years, we're 2025 now, right? So yeah, that's kind of where everything would have hit. So if the operations within the business wasn't going to be adaptable to what was coming in terms of like the internet stuff, then
Mhm.
that's kind of where a lot of that pivoting would have fallen by the wayside. You know what I mean? So
No,
I think that's
thousand
something that,
percent.
yeah,
1000%.
yeah.
And that's the shift that you're talking about that's happening today. And even the systems, your financial systems, your people and processing systems, your operational tools, like there's so much different fields. And I think sometimes when and if you've been running business for a long time, you kind of get stuck in your ways. Like it took me a while to trust the cloud.
Mm.
I was just like, I don't put myself in no computer. Are you crazy? I
Right.
wanted that file. Oh my gosh, I wish I had one. Do you remember the disc, the square disc
With
that
the
we
little round
saved
silver.
in the round thing in the middle? Oh my! You know what? My next show, any other show that I'm doing, I'm gonna start doing. If it's a then and now, I'm gonna start putting up pictures and giving out prizes for people who can name it because I can't
Ooh,
really
I like
name the
that.
damn disc. I should have done that today. God damn, I didn't think about that. Okay, I'm gonna think about it next time. Okay. Let's move on to what do you think are the tools that were just non-negotiables for businesses to scale today?
Like today, you
Yeah, what
need
are
like
some
it's your
non-negotiable tools?
systems. You need your system. So like you need a system for your sales and your marketing. Like you need those. If you don't have that, it's you're not in business. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like you're not really in
You're
business.
selling on the side of the road. That's what you really are doing.
Like it's one of those things. But yeah, you need one for customer relations, like your whole CRM. You need to be able to make sure that's systemized. You need your finances, accounting, HR. Like everything needs a system. And personally, like just a little plug because I'm all about wellness. Like everything in life has a system. You just have to plug into it. And the same thing goes
Mm.
for business. Like everything it needs to have a system. If it doesn't, then you're gonna be kind of flailing all over the place and scrambling and figuring things out. But when you know and identify that system that you need, then you're good.
These are
That's the
facts.
part. Yeah.
These are facts. Oh, Stacy got it. It was the floppy disk.
Floppy disk. Yes.
Stacy,
Yay.
you are the winning prize. You get a free seat at my next show next week here on Business Week. I love that. Music Talk Radio. You're getting a free ticket to the studio. Free ticket to the studio. Yes, you're definitely right. You know what? Let's jump a little bit into what you were talking about. Like you are wellness, Thrive Wellness. You have the 8 dimensions. Let's talk a little bit about that because I think that's overlooked. Do you think the mentality of entrepreneurs and business owners, operators, what was it then to what you see now
From a wellness perspective, eh?
from a
I love these
wellness
questions.
perspective? Let me
Mm.
throw some of this SME at you, honey. Let the people know.
um, Honestly, wellness wasn't looked at the way that it's looked at today. It
Mhm.
just like back in the day, it was just a hustle. Get up, do, manage, take care of
Mm.
your family, just get it done. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter how you're feeling. If there's like anything that was abnormal, it was just kind of taboo and like buried deep, deep, deep. And that's
right.
why we're experiencing a lot of like the mental health things that are happening now. People have buried things for so long, and now they're coming out in certain ways. We didn't have names for things back then that we do now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when somebody was going through something and they just kind of buried it, it was like, okay, well, there's not a name for this, so we're not going to talk about this. So
Yeah.
but the conversation has definitely shifted in a huge way back then to now in terms like in the wellness space. But now it's like we're shining a light on every possible area. We're talking through stuff, we're bringing up things, we're healing from things, we're saying, hey, this isn't okay anymore. You know what I mean? So that
Mhm.
is, I think, the biggest shift that's happened. Like there's a lot more conversation around wellness and what it means to be holistically well, even if it's not at that level. So a lot of people will have like conversations in one particular area of wellness and like, okay, well, your mental health or your emotional health or your physical.
Mhm.
but looking at it from like a holistic perspective, the way that we're looking at it is actually kind of new, which is exciting and really thrilling. So yay! But
Yay.
now, but it's really important to just kind of understand who you are, what you're about, what you stand for, what's
Yeah.
okay, like what baggage are you carrying, what mindsets are you holding on to from the past, what things were shared with you from childhood even, or from mainstream media, or from things you were exposed to in school or at the park or whatever, that you carry with you, because the littlest things can make a world of difference, and
Yeah.
we're not always aware of them until like it impacts us, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. A
So
thousand
these are
percent.
kind of some of the things, yeah, that we definitely need to consider in the world of wellness for sure.
Yeah, when I think about, from operations, I know sometimes like I get into the very technical term of operations, but the reason why I ask that question is because the systems and processes people used in wellness was different, right? Like a lot of people pushed through, no matter how tough it got. We believed, and I say we because I've been running businesses for well over 30 years, but we believed that if we just persevered, it would happen.
Yeah.
And I think, and those times, they didn't even have as much resources as they do now. And I'm not just talking business, I'm talking mental health resources, family, environmental resources, literacy resources, financial resources. Those wellness skills are so broad. And I'm definitely having you back to do that conversation because I think that needs its own. But I want people to understand how the way you operate up here really affects how your business comes out. It affects how your business grows. It affects how you impact the people you're trying to serve. And most importantly, it impacts how you feel about yourself, right? When my drip philosophy was really centered around the drive, the resilience, the innovation, and the progression. And I chose those four particular character traits. It's because that's how I've been developed. My parents were very driven. My mom was innovative as hell. Like she had four children back in those days. Four kids was not the easiest to raise because you weren't making a hell of a lot of money in the areas we lived in. But she made stuff happen. My father made stuff happen. We traveled. Like he was super innovative. Like he got a station wagon, piled us all in the back with a couple of sleeping bags, and that's how we did our family vacations. And so when we think about being overwhelmed today with technology, and we're being overwhelmed with there's so many different processes now, there's so much expectation. There's always some kind of commercial or ad telling you how to do something better, faster, stronger, right? What advice would you give in terms of simplifying the operation so that it's not as complicated as people feel?
In terms of technology, you have to simplify before you automate. So if you have like this complex system or this complex way of doing things, it's
Hmm.
not going to translate the same way to technology.
Right.
So you actually have to like pull back the layers and find the most basic, simplest form of
Yeah.
your process in order to automate that. And then you have to focus on like the core issue. Like don't try to automate everything all at once. Find your biggest pain point within your business and try to solve that with technology first. And
Hmm.
then, slowly work in the other steps in the processes. Because if you try to do everything one time, that's when you're gonna get overwhelmed. That's when it's gonna stress you. That's when you're like, oh my god, I hate technology.
Yeah.
like,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't do this.
it gets real.
Like it does get overwhelming really, really fast, especially with some of the tech, the lingo. Like a little bit further back
Hmm.
now, everything's kind of like simpler in terms of just like plugging in something and going. But like if you had to
Right.
kind of learn a little bit of the technological lingo that went along with the stuff, it was a little bit harder. And then another thing that's really simple, like really helpful, is if you have all your data in like one place. That way you don't have to keep going everywhere. You need to know your numbers. You need to understand what's happening. Like you have to track everything, and having all of that in one hub is really, really important and really essential. Because if you have to go here for this and there for this and that for like that's also going to overwhelm you as well,
Hmm.
right? So trying to learn the learning curve with it, actually trying to implement it, and then trying to find everything all over like that's something else that just really, really overwhelms. So those are kind of the things. And then honestly, like I love the 80-20 rule. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's the Plato rule or whatever the case may be, but the 80-20 rule, especially if you're
Automated out.
starting out, you need to like, you don't necessarily have the numbers, you're not really sure what's happening and going on, the 80-20 rule helps you like just majorly. So essentially what that is like 80% of your effort, no, 20% of your efforts gives you to 80% of your results.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you're working with or whatever you're trying to implement in terms of your system, just find that 20% of what you're trying to do, implement the system around that, the technology around that, and then it's going to make your life easier and free you up to handle the 80% of stuff that's a little bit harder to do. An example of that would be like your emails, nurturing your customers, your clients. You know what I mean? Like that's where a lot of it is, because you have to stay connected, you have to stay front of mind, you have to be in front of your audience like as much as possible, right? So even automating your emails and streamlining that is gonna free you up to then focus on other areas that matter just as much.
1,000%, 1,000%. Sorry. Yes, and you said something there in terms of the 80-20. There's even those types of systems you have to be more aware of, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there are things that you can do to really kind of create a simplification. Is I use two key methods. One is the SWOT analysis, right? The strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I find that's a tool that is so dear to being able to just kind of take a moment and ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are the weaknesses of my business? Where my business can see opportunity, and what are the threats to my business? And a big threat for a lot of people is the inability to manage and organize their business so that it's effective and efficient, right?
Yeah.
That's something that's super important. The other tool I like to use is the SMART method. That's a specific, measurable, achievable, realistic time frame, right? That one.
Mhm.
Me and I love when Georgette sings it. I am smart, SMRT. So I just do the same damn thing. It's a great shout out to CEO of COC Socials. It's a great opportunity for when you do the SWOT, then you can make smart decisions, and smart goals on how you can get your business out there. If you're just joining us, welcome to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. You're here with your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, CEO of Empire by Design. I'm here talking with my guest today on a three-part series that we had about what it takes to get into business. We have been talking about from launch, the ideation, to launching, to now we're talking about some of the systems and operations that one needs to keep their business foundation strong. So Phyllicia and I have already spoken a little bit about what were the shifts, what were some of the traditional ways of business versus the modern day. We talked about what are some non-negotiables. So if you're just tuning in, don't worry, this will be on the replay. In fact, I encourage you to go back to part one and part two, and then come back to part three, so you can kind of use it as a way to gauge how your business is doing. As you know or don't know, if you're just joining, I love having these conversations with SMEs in the business who not only just align with what business is about, but is definitely here to kind of help you go back, or if you're just starting into business, to come out and feel more confident. So we're sitting here with Phyllicia, the CEO of Thrive Wellness, who really works from an 8-dimensional ploy of wellness from the different aspects. And so she is, here to share more about not just her story, but about, the things that have helped her to get where she is today. Let's jump a little bit now more into the competition factor. So we know that small businesses continuously have to be going up against some of the giants, right? It's like as soon as you think you found a niche, you find it in Walmart. What? You know what I mean? So who knew, right? What would what do you think? How do you think that small businesses can compete operationally, maybe
Hmm.
not in market, but operationally with big corporations that have more resources, more staff, more money, more resources, more staff, and more money? How do you think they can compete?
Don't.
Well, you have it right there, folks. It's been a great show. Take the gems and drop them. Literally, I mic drop. Like, literally.
No, seriously.
That
No.
was good. That was real fast. He's a true. She's like, listen, she ain't here to come and butter you up, y'all. Get it together. real talk, real talk, real talk.
We're laughing. I know it's a real point. Like, just don't compete. Like, we're laughing to ease the pain, but like, it's a medicine that needs to go down. Okay, like,
Just a
just
spoonful of sugar helps the
makes the
medicine go
medicine go
down.
down.
We're only 25, y'all. We don't know nothing about them tunes.
um, no, I love this. I love all of this. I really do.
I tell you, this is like, I mean, I've loved all my guests, but honestly, you are giving life, honey. Oh God, no, seriously, you might become a co-host. Like this, I think this has become a thing. Like if I can laugh every Thursday at 7, I am here with
You're
no fun.
good.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay. No, seriously. No, I say don't, because they're in an entirely different league. And when, like, you have to stay in your lane, like pretend you're like a sprinter. Let's say you're an athlete. You know, you have your lane, you need to stick in it. Put your blinders on, don't look to the left, don't look to the right, because if you do, you're gonna fumble and fall. Just run your race, look for the finish line, and get there. Once you finish the race, like, you have to understand, like, athletes don't run all the time. So there's going to be seasons of running where you're moving fast, but they're also in a training season. They're understanding what's happening, what's going on. In those moments, study the giants, study those big companies, understand what they're doing, what they're not doing, why they're doing what they're doing. Learn from their successes, learn from their failures, but don't try to compete with them because they're out of your league. And one thing to also, we were talking about this, I want to say last week, I don't remember, not on the show, but like just conversations, is like, bigger companies, because they have a lot of money to push out with, like, for products and advertisements and all that other stuff, they're product first. Like, they're product first. Being a small business, you have to be people
first. Yep.
You have to focus in on the people. Get to know your niche. Become dominant in your niche. Take care of the people who want what you've got. You know, help customize, personalize, whatever it is you have to do to cater to your people. Do that. The big companies aren't going to do that. There's a lot of red tape. They've got to go through this channel, that channel, whatever, to be able to pivot. Because you're a small business, you can customize your stuff. If you're doing one thing with your product and you realize, like, the same customer you're serving could benefit from something slightly different or a little different, and it still falls in line with what you've got going on, why not create it and offer it as an extra bonus to what you've got going on? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna kind of digress a little bit on that one. I agree with you. Up to like the fourth last word. No, I'm joking. No, I do agree with you that yes, you can find a lot of opportunities within your market. But I always advise and caution small businesses to not try to compete with a number of products. Find your MVP and plan your succession. Because a lot of people, and I'm literally, some of my clients can tell you this today, they are nervous to come to me with another product because I'm like, did you sell the other one? How much did you make? Did you even talk to 5,000 people before you started this next product? Because what I've experienced is that they talk to 3-4 people. Someone says, oh my God, your product's amazing, you should. And then they go off flying to the should, and they don't have the capital, they ain't got the research, they ain't done the development, but it pops up, and then now you have 25 products and you have zero marketing dollars, right? And so I think that when you're going to compete, you're right, it has to be a people first process. But I believe that you can, if you're going to try to compete, understand that they started with a product. Right? Lamborghini was not a car, it was a tractor when they first started. Right? Like, a lot of people don't know the history of some of these big organizations and these conglomerates and these corporates. People, like, what you see now is not necessarily where they started. Right?
That's why I said study them.
That's it. And you know, and so if you have a market that's attentive to your product, great. Get it to me. Get a platform where you can literally build capital to reinvest, because you said you and I were both on the same page when it came to self-funding, right? And I think a big part of that is understanding. And I was a person, and I say was because my creative juices, like, I could create 65 products in 15 seconds. Like, I could tell you this, that, and the other. But the thing I learned the hard way was I stretched my dollars so thin that I couldn't actually put enough effort. And in those days, I didn't have social media. It was a flyer. It was out there running. It was out there trying to build a business off of knowing who you knew. And so I agree. There is a great seed planted when you do your first product and people are paying attention to you. But just be careful how fast you're going to implement product number two, because there's still a lot behind it. You got to come up with the operations plan, you got to come up with your marketing plan, your sales system, your financial plans, your business plan for it. You got to come up with your ad and promotional dollars. You got to come up with competing again, like your photo shoots. Yes, your phone's great, but when you're competing against a company who's like using studios and high level photographers, your iPhone is not cutting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Phones these days are massive, are pretty expensive cameras. So yeah, I do agree with you, but definitely be very cautious. Talk to your coach. What? You don't have a coach? What? I couldn't
Well,
hear
you
you.
know where to come.
You know where to come right now, right here. Miss J. Yes. Yes, we're doing it. We're here for you. Okay. All right, let's talk
Well,
a
just to
little
kind
bit.
of clarify
Oh,
before
hit
you
me
move
with
on, because
oh,
agree with you 110%. You know, I'm just going to butt in there
girl,
for a
I
second.
don't take my flowers in my 110. Okay. But no, you I don't want you to feel that you were right, but I just wanted to make sure that we inserted the timeline.
Yes, no, no, no. You're 110% right. And yes, absolutely. Like, don't think you have to drop a product right away. But I also want to leverage the fact that your product doesn't necessarily, like, if you're doing physical products, your next product doesn't necessarily have to be a physical product, another like whole manual process. Because we're working in this whole digital space, you could create like a little like a how-to video or a little
Yes.
how-to course to support your product. Like that's another product that would be very
Wait.
supportive.
Pause,
So the
pause, pause. Say it so they could hear it in the back.
Okay, so just because you have a physical product doesn't mean you need to go and create another physical product. You can create a digital product, something that's not going to cost as much upfront, that still supports your clientele, still supports your business, and
Yeah.
still supports the product that you're already offering. So, like I was mentioning before, it's like if you have a physical product and you're realizing, hey, so people are coming to you and asking you many questions. Well, how do you use this exactly in the best possible way? Or let's say it's a healthcare product and you're like, okay, we'll use it twice a week on this particular way. You can then go and create like a how-to mini series and present that to your client, and that's just
Mm,
a support of, but it's still another
mm,
product. You know what I mean? So you can still personalize and customize
yes.
things in little ways to still be able to customize and support your clientele and your base. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And we have the support with it. Girl, you need to come over here. Guy, you need to get, like, you know, and then referrals just start happening like that. Like you need to find a way to dominate your space. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But you know, you're
Don't
right.
throw it,
We're all
girl.
good. You know, just
Give
saying.
the people what they need to know. Mic
Mic
drop.
drop.
Okay. T clap. Now, yeah, and I'm gonna jump all over that. I specialize in community development. I love building brand communities. I've worked in community development for a long, long, long time. I'm not going to disclose my age. I'm still 25. And the first thing that you learn in a community is to understand what your community needs. And so you're definitely right. The digital space gives word to that. Actually, Stacy from the Sweet Spot, shout out to Sweet Spot, check her out, Sweet Spot RCA. Um, she had the Glow Gang. I love that she branded her community. It was the Glow Gang. Yagamai Locks branded their community. She had her Crown Locks. She has her show, which hopefully she's going to be relaunching again. Lock Talk Lounge. Check it out. And my one of my newer clients, Naja, and she's going to be on the show next week. But Naja, the Visibility Creative Agency, she actually just started getting into, like, I'm helping her to get into work, like mini workshops. Like to your point, where do you see she's seeing a glitch, she's seeing the problem, she's seeing a trend, and so she created a brand basics workshop that is super amazing, like hands down. She understands her craft, and I think that's what people don't recognize. When you're building a community, people will attract you because you know your craft, right? You know that face, that what to put on your face, what you should put in your hair, the roots. Like I like, for example, my earring here, it has a deep meaning. This is from Ghana, from Empressing. And she knows the type of things that appeal to me, right? This is, a very spiritual meaning to these earrings. And so when I try to teach all my CEOs, your authenticity comes from being truly gifted in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
If once you understand your power, use it. Just use that. You don't need to be the next Gary V. You don't need to be Miss J. You don't need to be Phyllicia. You don't need to be like, my craft is business development. My craft is community development. Your craft is wellness. Like, we all have a craft, and I think some people, they switch lanes too quickly, trying to be something they're not. Right. So
Keep your blinders on. Yes.
put the blinders on. Jeez, my goodness.
100.
Okay, this is good. Whoo! If you're just joining us, we're having a hot and heavy session. I mean, we're not kissing or anything, but it's hot and heavy regardless. You will not get no cheap porn on this channel. Or will you? Join us next week at Brandy. No, seriously, we are having an amazing time. I just need to find guests who laugh at my corny jokes. This is amazing. Making me feel all type of ways. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We're here to answer them live. If you're not, you're catching the replay, don't worry, it's going to be up on the Love Bay YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, please press subscribe. We've hit our goal. We wanted to get over 300. We're over 300 now. Now we're going for 500. Okay, let's go to 400 first, and then we'll go to 500. Right? We want, because you know why this show. I don't think a lot of people recognize that Love Bay is a global online radio station. I mean, they get more play out there than they do here. Like, they are ranging in over 120 countries. Okay, over 100. Yeah, Tara, you perk up when you hear about the sex talk, yeah, they are streaming over 120 plus countries. My show's getting out there. I think I've hit over 60 or 60 plus countries. So listen, people, you know what? I started with them doing community conversations. They blessed with promoting me to my own business show. I'm so thankful for this organization, for the people I get to work with. Petronella, she is awesome. Janice, she's the queen. I'm Miss J, she's Miss J, but I call her Lady J because queen, honey, respect the elder, right? But she's still 25. And then Mr. T and their whole squad, they do so much for us as hosts. They give us a platform, they give us great backdrops, and they allow us to, invite people onto this show to promote community. And so I want to thank you again for being here and, really giving me the time of day. If you're now just coming in again, welcome. This is Phyllicia LaToya, the CEO of Thrive Wellness. She's been dropping gems all evening for the last 3 sessions. She's been dropping some real gems. So I really hope you take her in. You can find it on the YouTube channel, Love Base, subscribe, or you can get it on my website at empirebydesign.ca under Business Weekly and catch up on shows. There's a lot of different topics. I try to talk business all the time because I feel that's where there's a gap in our Black communities around business. We don't talk it. We're good at doing it, but we don't talk it enough. And I think people, when they start talking, I've watched my CEOs just thrive. They've thrived because they are now seeing things. Yeah, you're inspiring. So let's start to wrap up around our last topic that I want to talk about, which is, and from your experience, what's the one operational mistake that kills business the fastest?
Poor money management. It's just, you need the money in order to stay in business, and you need to create it. But a lot of people, I mean, you're the financial expert, so I'm going to leave that for another show because I know we're trying to wrap up, and I don't want to dive too deep in that because we can go some places.
Yes, listen, you want me to put it in one line? It's the money, honey.
Yeah.
It's the money, honey. That's what it is. Oh God, I miss my nail tech. I gotta go see it. Yeah, agree.
Yeah, we just
dollars and cents.
Dollars. You gotta manage that properly.
Mm-hmm. And I say this: dollars and cents. Okay, Dollars and cents. Okay.
Hmm.
I agree. It's one of the fastest ways to kill your business. Right now, I'm going through a series of exercises with my clients around cash flows and understanding how to maximize the efficiencies of their cash flows, how to reinvest their profit, how to look at reallocation, how to break down, the expenses, truly what's an expense versus what's not. And that's why when people start talking about new products, I get real nervous real quick. Like, girl, you struggling to buy Starbucks, honey. You put a hold on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely that. I agree. I agree. I agree. So let's leave them off with how could they avoid it? Let's leave them off with that. One thing, I'll give one thing, and then I'm gonna start wrapping up.
All right. The one thing I would say is get a financial vision, for your business. So it's the same way you have a vision for your business and where you want to go and the goals and the steps and that sort of thing. Have a financial vision, something that's gonna say, hey, and kind of pull you back from all these other ways. So some things just to stretch you. I'm gonna throw this out there. I know companies that have 10% is all they spend on their expenses. 90% is pure profit based on their
Hmm.
revenue. So for every $100 that comes in, only $10 is spent, and
Mm,
they're making like millions of dollars, doing really really well.
yeah,
And that's something they started with. They really wanted to make that happen. So when they were building, it didn't happen overnight, of course, but when they were building, they're like, okay, if this is our goal and this is the vision that we have for our finances and what we want to do as a company, then we can't do this. Or if we're going to do this and bring this into our company, and this is what we need right now, then we
yeah,
need to find a way to generate more so we're still within that 10% profit. You know what I mean? So it kind
yeah.
of helps you stay focused and balanced in what you're doing and what you really want for yourself and for your business, if that
Love
makes
that.
sense.
Love that. I'm going to throw, and I kind of already said it, learn how to manage your cash flow. Understand that there's a few key documents you should be staying on top of. That's your P&L, your profit and loss, your balance sheets, which talks about your income and equity, and then your cash flow is the day-to-day, everyday tool that you want to be looking at. And general ledgers, which is really like cash flows are monthly, general ledgers are daily. So you have to get into get into a habit of tracking your spending. I think a lot of people have been told that, but they don't understand the power of it.
I
All
believe.
right, so there's some other stuff I want to share, but I'm gonna let Phyllicia go because I'm gonna have to. I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to.
I know. It's
Hold
been
on,
fun. I know.
holding on. Okay, so
Oh, all right.
I want to share because two shows gone by and I didn't do this properly, and so I'm doing it today.
Yeah.
Hit me, Mr. T. Hit me with it, Mr.
Yes.
T. Mr. T's not coming on me. Hit me, Mr. T. Can never see. I tried. I want this to be on record. I tried. And there you go. So just
www.thrive8dwellness.
not me, Mr. T. The screen. I finally put up the QR code. It's just, and he's not giving me the QR code. Oh shoot, it's going away now. Okay, it's going away now. Okay. All right, Felicia, everyone, I want you to. I am sweating, Felicia. You had me laughing on this whole show today. Out here sweating with my glow, honey. My glow.
Hey.
Yes. All right, so follow Felicia on. Where do they follow you? At. Mhm.
www.thrive8dwellness.com is the website. That's the best place to catch us. But we're also at Thrive8D Wellness on Instagram.
Say that 10 times.
I know, right?
All right. Love you, girl. I will see you in the back room shortly. So, for all of you who are listening, if you're just joining the show, welcome to Love Bay. I want to let you know that we had an amazing 3-part series. We talked about what getting into business is like then and now. But I want you to remember the drip, the drive. Stay committed to building your systems, not just chasing sales. Okay. You have to have sales activity every day to know if your systems are working. So make sure that when you get up, you put your 10 toes down, start thinking about how the systems are helping or hindering your business. For R, resilience, adapt when tech changes, the market shifts or the systems fail. That's going to happen. Nobody is immune to it. The biggest of the biggest, the smallest of the smallest, and the lemonade stands in your local community all have to be resilient when it comes to that. For my I, innovation, leverage automations. I'm getting a lot of my clients now on platforms. I'm helping them to not reach just hundreds, but thousands of people more effectively, more efficiently, utilizing a lot of the tech that's coming out today. Also know that collaboration, right now, I still don't buy into collaboration over competition. Never going to buy into that. Not a big fan of it, but I am a fan of collaboration when it complements. Okay, so maybe complement over competition, but collaborate, because when you, like we're doing right now, Phyllicia and I, we can't wait to. We're working on something really big, and we really can't wait to put it out there. It's going to be amazing. And P, progression. That's scaling sustainably. Okay. So the three things that I tell people when I bring on a client, I have to know whether you're in the start phase, the sustain phase, or the scale phase. And that's important because if you're in the start or the sustain phase, a lot of people's businesses are going out of businesses within months, sometimes a year, 2 years. Some people are in business for 5 or 10 years and then petering out. And why? Because their sustainability plan is not good. And so you're not going to progress because it's not about just growing big, it's about growing smart. You have to take the time to really understand where your vision is and how to get there. And so, what do? You bring in my boss methodology. This is where we start to build operational and sustainable systems that are going to help you to do that. I'm going to help you to break down your business operations into repeatable, measurable steps. It's almost like breathing. It's a muscle memory. If you do it enough times, you're going to get the results you need. I'm going to help you to focus on sustainability, which is systems that don't collapse when you step away. There's 4 tiers to this game. There's 4 tiers. You're the operator, and you become the manager, you become the leader, and then you become an owner. And you want to get to that owner because as an owner, you should be able to walk away from your business for even up to a year, and your business should still be thriving. I'm going to help you to create operational flow between your marketing, between your sales, and your service delivery, right? And that one is going to be super, super important because at the end of the day, if people can't trust your product, they're not going to refer you, and they have to trust you. You become the credibility they need to invest in your product. Building a business is like building a house. If your foundation is weak, the whole structure won't last. Your operations may not be the sexiest part of entrepreneurship as much as it is posting, you and your selfies and you here and this is what a CEO in a day of a CEO. It's not sexy, but let me tell you, it has teeth. It's the part that guarantees that you'll be standing in 5, 10, or 20 years from now. A client shared something with me this morning, and I have to give her flowers because she had the best experience. She had the experience of meeting a CEO who was standing for 20 years on business, a global market, and is doing fabulous. And she said to me, Miss J, now I know what you have been saying. Yes, we are looking for longevity here at Empire by Design. We're looking for longevity here on Love Day. So whether you're just starting out or you're ready to grow, ask yourself this: do I have the systems in place to support the empire I am building? If you don't, you know where to come. Okay. Well, that's it for today. I want you to tune in every week, 7 o'clock p.m. right here, Thursday. You don't have to see my wonderful face. You can hear my beautiful voice. Just go to lovebayradio.com and just listen online while you're getting some stuff done for your business. Don't forget to subscribe and share with another entrepreneur. People, if you don't give, then you can't expect to get. Okay, so if there's anything that you want to talk about, let me know. You can email me at info@empirebydesign.ca, message me, or you can follow me as well on empirebydesign _ direct message me, whatever it is. I want to have the conversation. I want to keep these conversations going. Just remember, growth is not the goal, margins are. And margins come from smart operations. So you are a CEO, you possess the drip, and your empire is built on the boss. I am your drip strategist and boss methodologist, Miss J, and I'm here each week on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. You're so welcome. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Tara. I thank you. Tara said thank you for standing in your purpose so we can stand in ours. Woo! Yes, honey, coming with the gems on the drop. And on that note, let's build something legendary. And as always, head in the skies, spread your wings, and let's fly. Have a good one.